all are here. If there are any proxies, could you please introduce yourselves at this time?
I'm Rob.
And that's our only proxy,
Oh,
really.
hi.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Hannah Seveniyu, and I'm calling for Clement.
Great, okay. Now, Secretary Maddox will take roll.
Senator Wilhelm.
Here.
Harris. Chang. Comstock.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Ross.
Here.
Rice.
Here.
Portman.
Here.
Lowe.
Here.
Sorry. Hall.
Here.
Steffen. Winston.
Here.
Schweitzer.
Here.
Watson.
Here.
Moser.
Here.
Toll.
Here.
Baker.
Present.
Ron.
Here.
Price.
Here.
So we got 17.
All right, and could we have visitors introduce yourselves at this time? We'll start over in the back. Okay.
I'm Mitchell Corbett. I'm a director of government relations. I don't know.
Let's start in the back over there.
I'm Kelsey Sullivan. I'm with the Exponent campus editor. My name's Adi. I'm here with Purdue Model United Nations.
My name's Nicole, and I'm an intern here with Taylor Toll.
I'm Rachel Wilson. I'm an intern for Jordan Ross.
I'm Taylor Webb. I'm Vice President of Finance for PUDM.
I'm Justine Dyson. I'm the president for PUDM.
I'm Alyssa Castleman. I'm Vice President Internal for PUDM.
I'm Kyle Marpy. I'm the Vice President External for PUDM.
Great. Okay, now could you please stand for the voluntary pledge of allegiance? We're going to face this stuff. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And could the senators please remain standing for the pledge of allegiance? Our purpose is to be the voice of the Purdue Student Body, serve the needs of students in all university matters, and provide leadership that stimulates initiative, inspires excellence, and exemplifies professionalism. And above all, hail Purdue! Okay. Are there any advisory boards? Are there any cabinet reports? All right, seeing none. Oh, executive directors. All right, seeing none, we will move on to informal discussion. So we are very lucky tonight to have Mr. Tony Hawkins, who is the Dean of Students right now, and he's going to come up and share some remarks with us, and we'll have some brief time for Q&A afterward. So you have the time.
Thank you, Caroline. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you tonight, and I'm honored to be asked. Actually, I was advisor to Purdue Student Government from 1980 to 1987. What Caroline hasn't told you is that I started in the Dean of Students office when my father was a student here at Purdue. But he was introduced as Purdue Pete to me, because that's what he was at that time. I also got to work with her brother, Brad, and her sister, Brooke. It's nice to see that she's holding up the family name and stature. But thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I'll just share some observations with you. Number one, your pledge of purpose. I don't know how long that's been in place, but it's good to see, because you are the student voice. And I'll speak to that a little bit more in a moment. But I wanted to tell you about my experience when I was advising Purdue Student Association. At that time, it was called an association. And the representatives, the student senators, were elected by type of housing they were in. We had some long meetings. We would start at 7, and I can remember going home at 1 a.m. They were very political, and there was a lot of competition between the housing organizations. But I was also here when the transition was made so that the senators now represent the colleges and the schools at Purdue University. To me, that's more in line with the purpose of the organization, because your primary purpose is getting your degree. And so keeping the focus on the educational aspect of your being here, I think makes much more sense than the housing. There's no need to compete about housing. There's so many other things that you can be a good voice for. And the reason I mentioned voice, hi Bobby.
Hey, sir.
I think it's important that you do understand that your voice is heard. I've been here, I was here for 38 and a half years. Okay? All of those years, most of which I was in the Dean of Students office. There was one year that I served as interim vice president for student affairs. Other than that, I've been at the Dean of Students office. I was Dean of Students for almost 16 years. I transitioned out of that to become associate vice president for student affairs for the last 3 years of my time here. Last December, I retired. I was retired for 9 months. I gave away 96 ties. Jeff has already heard this. I gave them goodwill. And I kept a few ties that I could wear as suits, especially on Sundays. And right now I can't find any of my ties. So that's why you see me without a tie tonight. I do have one, but it fits all the other suits that I have, not this one. But the reason I bring up the fact that your voice is important is because I've been here long enough to know when student voice has been very effective. You wouldn't have the Hicks Undergraduate Student Library if it weren't for Purdue Student Government officials going to lobby the state legislators to construct that facility. And primarily that was to offer 24 hours of study during the time of exams. That was considered a dire need on the part of students. I also know that students were very powerful in their influence on creating the bus system that you have now, especially the loops that exist around campus. Students were involved in consulting with the bus company about that. The most recent voice was with this very facility, the KRACH Leadership Center. Used to be called Center for Student Excellence and Leadership. Students have been involved in this from the very beginning, from the concept of the idea of a Center for Student Excellence and Leadership to the completion that you now enjoy. And the students came up with what they call 11 significant purposes for the Center for Student Excellence and Leadership. They were the 11 guiding principles for the development of this building. And I have to say, I was a little surprised when I learned that this particular room is going to be used by a commercial entity, because this was part of the soul of this building. Now, I don't know the background of what's happened as far as administratively. There may be some very good reasons for Amazon doing that. But one of the things the students said was that we need a facility where we can come and congregate, we can interact as student organizations, we can do more intentional programming, and have the opportunity to interact with each other. We're talking about interacting interracially, interacting with international students and vice versa, and having the opportunity to do some cooperative programming, and that way stretching whatever funding they had in ways that they had never done before. That was some of the purpose of this particular building. Now, I'm not saying go out and make a big hue and cry about it, but you can certainly let them know that if there is an opportunity to revert this back to a student purpose, you would like them to consider that, because I think it's made for students. But again, I don't know the reasoning behind the agreement with Amazon, and maybe students will like that. I don't know. One of the other things that strikes me about this facility is that so far not enough students know about this facility. They don't know its purpose. They need to know that that's a gathering place for them, where they can come and enjoy each other and meet each other, learn things from each other. There are things that exist here at Purdue you will not learn in a classroom. It's only by interacting with each other that you learn from each other. Now, a little bit about why I am back as Dean of Students after 9 months of being retired. I can't tell you everything that happened prior to my being asked to coming back, but I was asked to participate along with Bobby and looking at some different kinds of organization of the residence hall system and student affairs. And we had 4 or 5 different organizational options to choose from or to give feedback on. And so we gave our pros and cons. The final decision was made by the provost. But a few weeks after my participation, I was called and asked if I would come back and assist or help through this transition period from an old system to a new system. The new system has some great potential, but it's going to take some time for people to work together and work through it and make it as effective as I think it's going to be in the future. So I look forward to that. Why did I come out of retirement? I've asked myself that a few times since coming back. But the bottom line is, I didn't spend 38 and a half years here not to care about this university, to care about the students. It's kind of deja vu to be back talking to Purdue Student Government. The only difference is that I'm old and you're not. So 38 and a half years make a big difference. But I've seen a lot of changes here in those 38 and a half years. And the student leadership is one of those great changes. I've always been fascinated by the loyalty that a Purdue alum has for Purdue University. And I think it's the Purdue experience that makes that loyalty exist. I came here from North Carolina. I was familiar with, I grew up near Duke and University of North Carolina. Went to a small school above Asheville, North Carolina, and then Appalachian State University for the master's. Came here for my PhD. The amount of loyalty that I found among Purdue alumni when they come back to visit the campus is just astounding. And so Purdue never loses. The other thing that struck me about Purdue is that when I was serving in the Dean of Students office, at one time I was Director of Student Activities and Organizations. Back then we only had about 460 recognized student groups per TM. Now you have what, 980 or so?
Just about.
Okay, that's huge. But I used to get recruiters from corporations and companies coming to see me and asking who are the student leaders on campus, because they recognize the value, the soft skills that you were learning outside the classroom, the interpersonal skills, the ability to run meetings, the ability to speak in front of people, just the interaction that you're capable of doing. Conflict resolution is a big part of what you do when you're involved in a student organization. And even Keith KRACH, he was a student when I started here as well, and I got to meet him at that time. But he has said numerous times that what he experienced outside the classroom was almost as important as the degree that he received. It gave him a leg up on having opportunities presented to him that he doesn't think he would have had otherwise. And the competition out there is stiff, so it makes a great difference for you to be involved with student organizations. Most of you probably spend 75% of your time outside the classroom. That's a lot of time to get involved and to engage in activities, to learn from different cultures and learn from each other. That's about the gist of what I wanted to say tonight, so thank you for the opportunity. But you said something about questions and answers?
Yes, if anyone has questions.
I don't mind questions because I can very easily say, I don't know. Questions? Yes.
Dean Hawkins, you mentioned that when you were here in your first stint, Purdue Student Government was the Purdue Student Association. It was organized by housing.
Right.
And you're working with Bobby to reorganize the way residence halls.
Well, Bobby and I were engaged in a couple of conversations with a group that requested feedback. But outside, I don't know how engaged you are now, Bobby, but my role from this point forward is just to help people do their jobs. And I think once they do that, everything's going to kind of fall into place. But maybe I interrupted you before you did.
Yeah. I was taking a while to get my point.
That's okay.
That's my thing. With all the land buying going on campus, and student housing being reorganized, Purdue building out. Do you see on campus an organization for students, non-residence hall students, to voice their opinions on the expansion plans? Just this last weekend, if you didn't see in the Exponent, there was an article printed about how a girls' co-op that's been on the same spot for 20 years is having their lease expire in the middle of the year.
Right.
Do you know of any?
I don't know the particular background on that particular instance, but I've over the years I've heard a lot of the Greek community express concern about the university closing in on them and perhaps taking that property. I think for some that's going to be difficult to do because the number of alumni and the strength of the alumni of those organizations, and if they own their own property, the only way the university can get it is through eminent domain. I don't think that would be a very popular course to take for the university. I think the university would rather take a cooperative approach, work with student organizations, because I can tell you from experience that many of the fraternities in particular can't compete with some of the housing that exists. Their property is so old, it's hard for them to expand, it's expensive for them to remodel. So the thing to do would be to work with the university to find some alternatives. And while it may seem like they're being pushed off campus, the opportunity is there for them to have far better facilities, be able to recruit better than they have in the past. But it depends on the needs of the fraternity or sorority. But I do believe there are some opportunities there. It just takes some collaboration. It takes some people who are smart enough to recognize future rest in having the best facility possible for other students. Hope that answers you. It's a good question, though. Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming out here to talk to us. My question is, so you've seen PSG for over a long period of time. Just wondering what's one piece of advice you could give current members in terms of how we conduct ourselves this year?
Well, I don't know that I can give you any advice because when I was student government advisor, I probably showed up in blue jeans and a shirt, and I look at you guys, you're all dressed up, you're very professional about it. It tells me that you take it very seriously. And in today's world, that's probably the best way to market yourselves. The best advice I can give is never be afraid to speak up, even if you think somebody's going to make fun of you because of the question you ask. It may be the very question that 20 other people have on their minds. It's just important to speak up. Let people know what the concerns are. If you don't speak up, they won't be addressed. Anything else?
We have time for about one more question if anyone has one.
But never mind, I won't. That would just keep us up here. So, I was going to ask the question.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just kind of curious. What is it you expect of yourselves? Is there anyone who's willing to answer that question?
In what sense?
You tell me. What do you want from your involvement in Purdue Student Government? Okay.
Well, one of the things that I ran on when I ran for Senate was I wanted everyone in my college to be able to name one thing that PSG did for them.
Okay.
So that's a combination of being active in the organization and also communicating well and explaining what's going on here. So if I can get that accomplished, I'll feel really good.
That's a good response because I feel like the organization that does the best job of communicating is going to be the strongest organization. It's going to be among the best organizations. Communication is key. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's too small for a time.
Okay, next we're going to bring up one of our justices, Kelsey Dilday, to swear in our new Senator Devin. If you want to just come to the front, we'll do it up here.
All right, so you raise your right hand, and then you're just going to repeat after me. All right. I state your name.
I, Devin KRACH,
On this 8th day of October 2014,
on this 8th day of October 2014,
swear to abide by and uphold
swear to abide by and uphold
the bylaws and the Constitution
the bylaws and the Constitution
of the Purdue Student Government.
of the Purdue Student Government.
I swear to conduct
I swear to conduct
all legislative business
all legislative business
with complete honesty
with complete honesty
and with the best interest of Purdue University
and with the best interest of Purdue University
as my main objective.
as my main objective.
I, Kelsey Dilday, as Vice Chief Justice and spokesperson of the judicial branch, now declare you Senator of the Purdue Student Government. Okay, next we're going to have a report from Treasurer Ann Hennessy.
Hi, friends. Okay, so there's been rumors going around that there's this new co-sponsorship application that is on the website. That is not true at all. There's nothing. We are revising the co-sponsorship application, but it is not public at all. So the one on the website has not been changed. It's still the old one from last year, probably. I don't know when it was put up there, but it has not been updated. The co-sponsorship application is still in the approvals process, so I will send out a copy of the new one to all of you. So if you have feedback for the application, please send emails to me, and then we will work on it, and then it will go through Bobby and I. So you will know when a new application is out. And then as for the budget itself, the biggest things that have changed is we finally got the invoice for the fall retreat. So that was over $3,000, therefore we went over the budget, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. And then for your co-sponsorship fund, you currently use $2,000 of it, and you still have $23,000 left.
Do we have a question, Senator Gilmore?
Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to ask. How far over $3,000 did you go?
It's on here.
Oh.
We went over $625. That's what it was.
We had a really good turnout, so.
Where is that? Well, there's a lot of places it could come from. For instance, homecoming, the budget was $1,000, but we only used $236 currently. So we can pull from that. The ABTS, I think we're done with the invoices. I'm not really sure if there's another flight that I need to pay for, so let me know. But yeah, we have like $1,000 left in that too, so don't worry about it.
Okay, next we're going to have Taylor Webb from Purdue Student Government come up and give a presentation. There's a co-sponsorship that will be brought up later, so give it up for Taylor Webb.
So first off, thank you guys so much for having me here tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your agenda to welcome me here and my counterparts. So we can go ahead and look through it. Basically, so for people who don't necessarily know what PUDM is, we are the largest student-run philanthropic organization on campus, and we have over 2,000 students that participate in our event annually, and close to 500 that participate for the whole year through varying levels of leadership in our organization. Last year, we raised over $1 million for our local children's hospital, Riley Hospital for Children in Indianapolis, and we joined the Extra Comma Club, so to speak, last year, and we were the youngest dance marathon in the nation to ever do that. And we currently stand as the 4th largest dance marathon in the nation out of 250 other programs. So we do make a big impact not only at Purdue and in Indiana, but across the nation. Yeah, okay. Keep going, sorry. That's everything I just said. I'm really sorry I forgot a slide. But basically, to talk about our main event, what happens is it's an 18-hour celebration of all the work that we do year-round. So our events and everything that the committee members do to fundraise, that's what we celebrate. And we celebrate our families and our kids and the fact that we've made such a difference over the years. So that's what the actual event is. So why Riley Hospital? Why do we give our money to Riley? Well, Riley is the only comprehensive children's hospital in Indiana. They have nationally ranked heart programs and pediatric cancer programs. We have 10 specialty programs, and they are now the 10th child life zone in the nation, and it is actually the largest in the nation. So where does our money go as an organization? Off of the $1 million last year, to kind of throw around those numbers, this year we changed our gift direction, but based on $1 million, we would give $100,000 to Child Life. So that's kind of music therapy, art therapy, things that aren't really medicine but make the kids feel really great. We give $40,000 to Camp Riley, which is a camp where children can go in the summer that have disabilities and medical illnesses and act like normal kids. They can zip line, they can canoe, they can do all of those things with nurses and doctors there to make sure that they're okay. And then the rest of that, so roughly $800,000 goes to pediatric cancer research. And I personally, that's my favorite part of it because that goes beyond just Indiana. That can go across the nation. If that money goes to find a cure at the Wells Center, it doesn't just help kids at Riley, it helps kids everywhere. So why should you support us? We strive to give 100% of our donations, 100% of our fundraising, 100% of our special events straight to Riley. So this $2,500 co-sponsorship, that helps us give $2,500 back to Riley because we don't have to take out of our donations to fund different aspects of our marathon, like our shirts, which is what I'm coming here specifically for, is the KRACH sponsorship for our shirt. That $2,500, that can pay for 71 parking tickets. That can pay for anti-nausea medicine. That can pay for a CAT scan. That can pay for anesthesia for a 3-hour surgery. So that $2,500, that goes back to the kids. That allows us to give our donations straight to them and to make a difference in their lives. So the marketing and advertising benefits of this. So what do you get out of it? Yeah, you get the joy of helping the kids, but what's it going to do for your organization? Well, you'll have your logo in the main gym as a KRACH sponsor. You're going to have your logo at the top of every single shirt. That's roughly 2,200 shirts. You will have 18 hours at the marathon where you can have a table. You can do whatever you want. Pass out flyers, give out glow sticks, whatever you feel like will best benefit your organization. You will have one video ad and a roughly 5-minute speaking slot on stage at the marathon. You'll have your name, logo, and a link to the PSG website on our website. And you can place promotional items for your organization in 2,200 bags. So I know that a portion of the bill was, or one bill, had a $1,500 donation and then a $1,000 donation for followers on Twitter that PSG received during the marathon. So I wanted to kind of go over what those $1,500 benefits would get you in comparison to the $2,500 co-sponsorship benefits because they're totally different because one's a KRACH and one's just a corporate sponsor. So your name won't be at the top of the shirt, it'll be at the middle and it'll be a little bit smaller. You'll have a booth at the marathon for 2 hours in comparison to 18. You'll get a 30-second video ad at the marathon, and your name and logo will go on our website with no link. So that's kind of where the $1,500 is. And then here it is side by side so that you can see the comparisons point blank between the two different levels of giving. I do want to stress that we are thankful for any amount of money that your organization can offer to us because everything helps and everything goes to the kids. We are in a little bit more need of money this year because we didn't receive funding that we thought we were going to. So this is even more important now to pay for these shirts. So please consider it, and thank you so much again for allowing me to come.
Do we have any questions? Martia?
No, I don't have a problem.
how many do you need now? How many sponsorships do you need?
Currently, we need 5 more.
You need 5 more?
Yes. We are on the agenda with 2 other organizations, but we have 3 commitments.
No. Okay. SAO will do a contract for you.
SAO will?
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Come see me.
Corey? Yeah.
If we started at the $1,500 donation level at a corporate sponsor, and then the difference between that and what is raised through a Twitter initiative, what does that do for us additionally, since we are committing additional money to you if you're willing to work for it?
So if that additional $1,000, if we did a Twitter promotion before the marathon, we could offer you those benefits, but if we wanted to do that benefit at the marathon, it would honestly just be considered a donation because our sponsorships are done, a lot of the promotional things are done the week of the marathon and after the marathon.
So does that mean that that would be, we're sponsoring you for $1,500 and then we're donating $1,000 directly to our other?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Do we have any further questions? Okay, thank you so much, Taylor.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we're actually going to have one of our senators come up on behalf of one of the organizations, another co-sponsorship that we'll be talking about later today. So if you want to come on up. Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Alright guys, this is co-sponsorship for an organization that I am involved in. The president is Dana Smith. She was not able to be here today. She had other commitments, and she asked me to do this yesterday, so I kind of got thrown into it. So I'll go through the PowerPoint with you guys, and I'll try and field any questions that you have. Okay, so a little bit about the organization first. It's the AAUW stands for American Association of University Women. It's a new student organization on campus. We just started up this semester. And it's affiliated with the National AAUW, which is a gigantic women's group all over the nation. And we focus on issues like pay equality, sexual violence, civil rights, LGBTQ issues, political representation, which is elect her, which is what I'm actually really interested in. It's a conference that's held to get women leaders involved in government positions on campus. So I actually went through that last year and ended up here. So that's why I'm part of this organization specifically. Okay, so in December we would like to hold a speaker. Sarah Kay is a spoken word poet, and she's the founder and co-director of Project Voice, which is a group dedicated to using spoken word as an educational and inspirational tool. And yeah, we put down that she gave a TED Talk that was really awesome. If anyone wants to watch it, it's called If I Should Have a Daughter, and I thought it was really good. Okay, so the event, December 2nd is our date. She is going to be in Indiana. I believe she's speaking at IU the week before, so she'll already be around. In the PMU faculty lounges, which is approximately 250 people, so that's our goal. This event will be free to all students, and anyone and everyone is welcome. And so we'll have a 45-minute performance, and then we also got her to include a 60-minute creative writing workshop. And we're not sure how many students that will affect, but we believe it's like at least 30. So that's like a private time with just her. We're also looking at having a reception open to everyone with her. Okay, Dana just jotted down a couple of learning outcomes. I don't know if you guys want me to read them, or if you want to just read them to yourself. And if you have any questions, I can try and clarify, just because I feel like I'm reading this PowerPoint to you. Does anyone have any questions about the learning outcomes yet?
So I understand that if we sponsor this, we get time with the speaker.
Right. I think that she has a slide on that.
Oh.
These are just her learning outcomes. So if you guys want to know why this would be a good speech for campus. Okay, so we're pursuing partnerships with other organizations. I believe some of these are set in stone already, but not all of them. So you can see already we have support from other organizations. Okay, and here's the budget, which is probably what you guys are most interested in seeing. Her speaking fees are $6,000. We set aside $700 for promotion, room fees, etc. Lodging for her is $300. I assume we're going to put her up in a hotel, probably the Union. Then we budgeted $1,000 for a reception, and also transportation is $500. So our total budget is $8,500. We got a SOGA grant for $5,700 and an initial from, I don't know what that acronym is, and from the LGBTQ Center already. So we're seeking the additional funds through co-sponsorship. Okay, so she put this in here. She highlighted sections from our strategic plan where she felt that this event fit in with our strategic plan. So she has there, will be recognized by students across campus as an engaging facilitator of change and a bridge between ideas and reality. We will work to encourage a progressive environment that fosters multiple perspectives and promotes positive change. And I think that was probably her biggest point there, that she feels that this event would very nicely fit in with PSG strategic plan. Okay, and here are the benefits with PSG. This is what she came up with, that how we can be involved. So we would love help with promotion, as we are a new student organization, and I know this concern is brought up in caucus. We are a very new student organization. We don't have a whole lot of contacts, but other than you saw, we do have a lot of partnerships with other organizations on campus already. But we would love help with PSG and promotion. Obviously, there would be PSG recognition on all of the promotional items. And then also a certain number of reserved spaces for PSG members in the workshop. So however many people have interest, how many spaces we actually have in the workshop, that's a flexible number.
Marcia, do you know how much civic engagement leadership development is giving?
I don't have any representative sheet put up on there. I have not been involved directly with the planning since very early stages.
$7,000. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll add something to that. I need to check.
Okay.
So the picture, we count.
Thank you very
I'm having a hard time paying rent.
I have not spent what I need to spend. I haven't spent all my money in my budget, so I can do a little bit here and there. It's gonna happen every week. Don't tell your friends.
So do we have any further questions?
Yeah, you have them.
Yeah, I was wondering, do you know what kind of promotional material there will be? T-shirts, flyers?
I do. I can't answer that, but I can put you in touch with someone who can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know how much they applied for on the SOAP grant?
How much was applied for? No, I only know what we received. I didn't that.
So, great idea, love it. My one question is, we just had PDM up here. For the $1,500, they had a broader range of sort of contact with the students in exchange for the co-sponsorship. You said the president wasn't able to come speak. Would the planners be willing to negotiate on possibly stage time for Bobby, I guess? For Bobby, but do you have something? Is this flexible, or is this the?
We definitely can work together to come up with other ideas for ways that the issue can be involved. Since this is such a huge organization on campus and we are a new organization, we really are trying to work to form partnerships with larger organizations in order to meet our goal of the 250 people.
How many people are in the club?
I'm not entirely sure. It's very small, but we have a very motivated president. She is, I don't know, you guys probably know her. She's in PSG. She's an AD. She's kind of short and got real cute blonde hair.
Dana Smith?
Yeah, Dana. And she's really bouncy and energetic. Yeah.
Old friend,
So, she is motivating people I know, and social justice is her thing, so she's really into this. So do we have any further questions? All right, thank you so much, Emily. Okay, now we are going to have Adi, did I say it right? Adi. Okay, we're going to have you come on up for Boiler Model UN. And we'll have a brief question and answer session right after.
Hi there, my name is Adine. I'm the Director for Campus Activities for Purdue Model United Nations. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about us. We're a pretty new organization on campus. We were started by an ambitious student who did high school Model United Nations and brought the club back alive. She was actually a senator for PSG. And Lauren, and she brought back the club, and she's been the one that has helped us through it. And now she has helped us with coming up with this idea. We've thrown Boiler Model United Nations for Purdue students in the club. It's been very small. Usually 10 to 15 of us will sign up, and we'll spend the weekend in a small classroom on campus debating, collaborating, and creating resolutions. And I find it a lot of fun, and it's a great way to prepare for events. And we decided, why can't we throw our own event on campus? So this is our start to it. We want to see what Purdue students are interested in participating in a competition, especially those without previous Model United Nations experience. So this competition is aimed for people who want to learn about Model UN, learn about how the United Nations work, and don't have the prior experience. So we decided 2 issues. We usually focus on security issues, but we wanted to go with the Human Rights Council. Our 2 issues for this competition involve the Syrian refugee crisis and international LGBTQ rights, both of which are hot topics, and we feel like everybody has an opinion of them and has heard of them. So we've chosen the following countries. These are 25 countries. Most of Security Council or somehow are involved with the Human Rights Council at the moment. We're doing double delegation, which means that 2 delegates per country. And we feel like having the nice collaboration of countries that are very pro-LGBTQ rights are really involved with helping refugees versus those who are directly involved with it, who are against it, is a nice mix. And especially, which I'm pretty sure a lot of Purdue students will benefit from representing a country whose beliefs they don't necessarily follow with. So these are the sessions we have. It's a Friday evening session, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening social night for everyone to get to know each other, and a Sunday morning. And the benefits of doing double delegations is we made it so you can miss any of the sessions, and all you have to make sure is that your other delegate can be there. And we actually have several speakers that are going to come in throughout it. We have professors who have worked with the United Nations, who have spoken to them. They're going to stop by and talk about it a little bit and just talk about the specific issues, especially when we talk about LGBTQ rights. We want to have somebody from the center come to talk about why they're important, and just to show we're not just discussing some topic that is going to be a resolution that's only going to end up in the trash somewhere. It's going to actually something, issues that affect people. And then the winning teams. So these are the general winners of competitions. For best delegates, which will be the 2 best delegates for whatever country, we are going to get them a nice gavel that's engraved that they won the competition. And they will also receive $100 to be donated to the United Nations charity of their choice. October 24th, the first day of the competition, is actually United Nations Day. So we want to give the competition some kind of external meaning. Outstanding delegate, honorable mentions, and verbal commendations, we're hoping to give those each to more than 1 country to be able to recognize more delegates. And at the moment, we haven't decided on an exact prize. We are talking with a local company that may be able to 3D print smaller gavels for them, which I think would be really cool. And then position paper. Before the competition, delegates are asked to write a position paper. We're not making it required since many haven't written them before, but for position paper, we're also planning on 3D printing something. Maybe something that looks like a paper and pen. We might just give them like a portfolio with a really nice pen that says Model UN on it. These are all things we're talking about getting donated if you can't, we don't want to buy ourselves. I didn't include in here our budget for the event, but we are asking $500. The $500 is mostly to cover a lot of our material costs. I'm assuming that you've all seen the budget. Is there any specific questions on the components we're asking for? Yes.
I guess some of the senators haven't seen the application if they didn't contact Andy, but can you go over what the full budget is, the total, and what our money is?
Definitely. So I'll break it down for you how I broke it in the application. For advertising, we are printing out a lot of flyers, both large and small, because we're not advertising this just to Purdue students. We'll have a lot of room available for spectators to come, especially if we're looking at getting West Lafayette High School. We have some teachers and students that are coming because they're trying to start their own Model United Nations club through us. We'll be inviting some companies and foundations locally, and we'll be sending them invitations to hopefully, when we try to make this competition bigger and invite other clubs from other colleges, we'll have their support for finance. So we're asking $50 for full-page flyers and $25 for smaller flyers. For rental, we need to have room reservations for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and since we have to open it over the weekend, we're asking for $100 for that. We do have entertainment fees. We're not asking you for that. That's for our social night. We'll be paying for that with the $300 in the union for bowling and billiards. We're providing water bottles and snacks for people because it's a long competition, and when you speak a lot, water is good. We're asking for $100 to buy water bottles, all of which will be recycled. We made sure on that one. And then other delegate materials would be, we have to get folders with all of their prep information. They're representing an entire country, so having a lot of their history and how they voted on the issue in the past is important, and making sure they have all the materials for the specific issues. We need name tags and placards. In a competition, if you've ever done Model UN, it's kind of fun. For that entire weekend, you're no longer yourself. You're that country. When I went to the St. Louis competition, I wasn't a D. For an entire weekend, I was Ethiopia. So your the placards and your name tags are incredibly important so you can be recognized. A lot of delegate prep information. You have to know how to properly dress, all the rules of conducting yourself. The charity donation, we are not asking money for. We have event printing of resolutions and amendments, and that includes, during the event, people write the resolutions and we need to go quickly and print them so all of the other delegates can read them, make their remarks. So the total print material for that is $225, and that equals, so $225 for that print material, $100 for water, $100 for room reservations, and $75 for marketing. And that's the 500 for lights. Yes.
Can more topics of discussion be added, or are those two just set in stone?
We can. Model United Nations competitions, it takes a very long time. We probably won't get to those completely through those two topics, because it starts with moderated caucus where each country is given a chance to come speak, and it breaks off very quickly into people arguing about the little things. When you develop your resolution, you're trying to solve the problem in some way. You're offering a new program, you're offering new sessions. So creating the resolution, we'll definitely complete one of those and get a resolution done, but we'll only start discussion on the second one. We can add more topics, definitely, but the likelihood of getting some is very, very small.
Can you talk about the long-term goals of this event and the direction that, if this is successful, it will go?
So the long-term goals are beyond educating people about the United Nations and Model UN, is to have our own Purdue Model United Nations competition. All the big schools have them. Harvard is known for having their best one. We can make the best one here in the Midwest be Purdue's. So that's the point. We're inviting not only local schools that are hoping to host their own high school Model UN competition after they started, because there's not a single one in Indiana, but to have one for colleges here at Purdue. There isn't an Indiana Purdue Model United Nations competition either. We're inviting foundations, we're inviting companies, and people that we think will show an interest in funding a larger competition. And this is a great stepping stone to show the campus and the community at large that this is beneficial to our community.
Any further questions? Marcia.
So I would like to sponsor, if you didn't ask them for the money, I could not just sponsor them, right? So I would like to sponsor your social night, because you did not ask, and you said you're going to cover that. So I'll cover your bowling and billiards for the $300, and that's the equivalent of, I would say, $3,050. And I'll know that.
And just as a friendly reminder, the groups need to stay until the bill is voted on.
Okay, is there any other informal business?
Seeing none, we will move to old business. Is there any old business? Senator Young?
Yeah, I move on to take up Bill 1414, update to the Purdue Student Government bylaws.
It has been properly moved and seconded to take up Bill 14-14. It's amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. Discussion? Senator Young?
This is the second reading of the bylaws update that we passed.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will move to vote. All in favor, please raise your placards. All opposed, same sign. Abstentions? Bill 14-14 passes. Is there any other old business? Seeing none, we will move on to new business. Is there any new business? Senator Moser.
Bring up Bill 14-17.
It's been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 14-17. Great. It is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. Discussion? Senator Moser.
So this bill essentially is our co-sponsorship medium, which we just heard about from Taylor. She go to her exam. She's not here anymore. There are other representatives from PDM if you guys have any questions for them. Historically on campus, this has been a really important event, and like Taylor said, it's raised $1 million and we're the fastest school to get to that point. By getting involved in spending $1,500, we would have less pull in our involvement with the organization. So I'm going to make a friendly amendment for our 5th whereas clause that says Purdue Student Government will have this Twitter incentive before the marathon so that we can give the appropriate $2,500 rather than make that donation, because I'm pretty sure, direct question to someone on cabinet, we can't give directly to a charity right now. So that's not going to work. Are you on time with Bobby?
Thank you. I can clarify that in just a second. So we found out that this summer we can't donate directly to a charity unless it comes from our projects and enterprise account, which is what we try not to spend out of. So if we want to use university funds as a whole, it would be nice to do that upfront and donate to PUDM. That being said, I'm not sure how a Twitter campaign, I'm not sure the logistics of that would work before the marathon. I don't know how you can affiliate that with PUDM.
Senator Harris.
Direct question. Is it possible for, I guess, to Andy as well, to juggle that $1,000 that we could move $1,000 for sponsorship into our as a fund after this bill?
No, we can't move any of the university funds into our project enterprise account.
Senator Portman.
Direct question to the representatives from PDM. Is it something that you think you could logistically usually do as far as like doing a Twitter campaign prior to the
In what capacity do you mean a Twitter campaign? Just getting followers for PSG?
Yeah, so right now in the bill, you guys get an extra $1 for every new Twitter follower to follow the PSG Twitter handle up to $1,000. So is that something that you think you could do before?
I think that would depend on the dates of the campaign. Do you know the dates that we need our track sponsors by? I do not.
I don't think that it would work before the marathon, personally. Because last year what you all did was it was like at the marathon, and so it was a lot easier, I guess I would say, to get that. And I think that was the main reason.
Senator Harris.
Direct question to representatives from PDM. Is it possible that we were to do a campaign like that, and that up to $1,000 that you guys could earn to roll over as part of our donation towards next year's gift marathon?
The donation, like it's based off of like the not calendar years, but there's like certain times where we roll over our money to Riley. So I do not think that that is possible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Direct questions at PUD. So, since at our sponsorship level that we're planning on going in, if we didn't have the speaking time at the event, can you confirm whether or not you would make the announcement of the Twitter incentive?
I feel like, yeah, there's something that we can do, whether it's like a line on our, we have like projectors throughout the marathon. So yes, some way we get the word out to make sure that people follow.
We would make that happen.
Senator Gillette?
Direct questions to PUDM group. You mentioned a logistical challenge to doing a Twitter campaign ahead of PUDM. My question is, where is the challenge in, for 24 hours, tweeting consistently, PSG is donating up to $1,000 for every follower they receive. Please follow them. Where is the logistical challenge in that?
I think what Justine was referring to, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the attention span that we have with the audience at the marathon. And we didn't want to release a campaign that was unsuccessful. So we feel like we would have more success at the marathon. By all means, I think we could accomplish it at a different date, along with in alignment with one of our other campaigns. But we were just looking at success between the two, comparing and contrasting.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Harris?
I have another direct question to the PUD representatives. Is there a funding level between 1,500 and 2,500?
Yes, there's funding levels. It's every, I can pull it up if I need to. They go by increments of like $500. Everything under $2,500 would be a corporate sponsorship instead of a color track.
And is a color track sponsor the only level that includes an opportunity for us to speak to them?
No. I can look that up if you would like me to.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we can get that for you.
In the meantime, is there any further discussion? Senator Young?
So I think the thing that we're sort of like debating in our head is like, so we're gonna, if we went down to just $1,500, and the incentives that we're gonna get like be worth the money, versus do we want to spend $2,500 to guarantee those incentives? So I think that's kind of the question we're all debating right now, and I'm just gonna say like, does anybody else want to give their input on this in terms of saying? I know we've asked a lot out of PUDM. For me, I think I really don't know honestly, because I was anticipating that we'd have this like a similar level of benefits, but it's somewhat different. So I'd just like to hear what the rest of you think about it.
Senator Toll?
I think there's a significant amount of benefits with the 2,500 that we get versus the 1,500. And I think they outweigh it a lot. I mean, it would be nice to see what the speaking time is for the lower amount, but I think it's worth the extra $1,000 to get speaking time to get that other benefits.
Senator Gallant?
I think there are a lot of opportunities to explore here, especially considering that $1,000 if we were to do the Twitter campaign would not be possible during the course. My question is, and actually a direct question to PUDM, when do you need this funding by in order to sponsor a color track?
Yes, we close and order our shirts on October 31st at midnight.
And it's for, before the shirts are ordered, so we can get the logo on there and the appropriate size and location on the shirt.
What I'm getting at is I don't think cabling is an option, and there's a lot of information we're missing right now.
Senator Toll? I yield my time to you.
So, I guess what I'm gathering from all of this is if we were to do the Twitter campaign beforehand, we would still be giving $2,500 as a total amount, no matter what we're doing. So whether you give it in one giant lump sum or as a corporate sponsorship and then not a donation but kind of donation type deal, you're still giving the same amount. Unless you decide not to do the Twitter campaign at all, which kind of defeats the purpose of our
Senator Portman. Senator Winston.
I yield my time to Bob. Got it.
And I would follow that up by saying that because we're looking at the same amount of money either way, the only difference is the additional Twitter followers, and it doesn't make sense for us to utilize another organization in that way to market for us. We have people that should be doing that. If you guys are that passionate about 1,000 additional Twitter followers, then why aren't we out there tweeting it every day? Why aren't we the ones that are going out there and doing it? So I think that if all we're looking at is 1,000 Twitter followers versus the not guaranteed 1,000 Twitter followers, the $2,500 color track has the full 18 hours of the marathon that we're able to have a table there. If we can't talk to 1,000 students while we're at the marathon for 18 hours, I think we're doing something wrong. So I would think that that presence there at the marathon, and not only having our logo on there, but being able to be more present at the marathon in itself, would get the same marketing and publicity results if we pursue it actively. And that's what it's going to take, is active engagement from the members in this room and the members of BOD. Doing a Twitter campaign or having them run a Twitter campaign for us is lazy in my mind. I think that we can do that on our own if that's what we're passionate about. And I had something else I was thinking in mind as well, but I don't know what that is at this point. So.
Senator Schweitzer.
Hi. I was a committee member for PUDM last year, and that was the first time I ever did PUDM as a committee member. I decided to join Friday, and I really enjoyed it. I was slightly disappointed though that PSG only did the last year just for a corporate sponsor, so we were only there for the 2 hours and we had 5 minutes of speaking time, which was great, but it would have been awesome to have PSG support in that for the full 24 hours, or the full 18 hours. And it was kind of, I don't know, disappointment to me because PUDM is an organization that touches so many different people, and exactly what Bobby was saying. And I do think that although it might be difficult to fill that 18-hour slot at the table, I do think that we have many members that are already involved in PUDM and are already there, so I do think that we could logistically do that.
Senator Reiser, I yield my time to work today.
I would very much ditto what Kim has said. I did visit PUDM as I do every year, and I was looking for PSG. No one was at the table, and no one was there. So I agree. I mean, do what you want to do about the sponsorship. But when you look at PUDM, I would like to see that there are other organizations now. I know I'm a Greek fan, but Greeks are very heavily populated there. I would like to see some general student organizations. The top general student organization very much represented at this event, as in others, especially for our large scale events. So, I would say this, if this is a co-sponsorship that you are talking about, that your presence is also given, not just your money. Thank you.
Senator
I'd
Harris.
just like to follow up with my request for information on the $2,000 level.
Yes. This is all on our website. Sorry, can you remind me what dollar amount that you were looking for?
Just what's in between the 15 and 25?
Okay. The level under 2,500 is 1,000 to 2,490.
And so that's all the same benefit?
That is an hourly sponsor. That's an hour sponsorship instead of the 18-hour sponsorship. Am I answering the question?
So you do get speaking time on stage that's included with the hourly sponsorship, but the difference between the two is the 2 hours at the marathon as opposed to with the 25 or 2,500. Yeah, you get 18 hours with the booth at the marathon.
Okay. Thank you.
Senator Gallant.
I'd like to address the question of whether the Twitter followers is relevant. I won't say that we should support PUDM for less. I think it's a very worthy organization. My question's here to clarify because on the subject of Twitter followers, I'm regularly asked, what does PSG actually do for me? And I think 1,000 extra, ears, knowing what PSG does for them, would be good for our constituents. Second, we've passed, at least one co-sponsorship this semester where we didn't have all the facts on the ground, and we are now dealing with not receiving everything that we paid for, essentially, in terms of, I'm speaking specifically of Bedful. So what I would like is, more knowledge, and thank you for providing us that information on what we are actually, how we are getting involved in exchange for this money. For the confused looks about Bedful, there's no access to Bedful from Android.
Okay, let's just keep it relevant. Senator Young.
Bedful was not a co-sponsorship. It was out of projects funds that the exec branch already had. I just want to say, I think the Twitter followers is actually a valid point. Because that's something I would really like to see. Like I said earlier, I want everybody to know what we're doing for them. But it sounds like it's going to be a logistical challenge for a couple of reasons. I mean, I get the idea that we can just like tweet for like 24 hours and we'll probably get some followers. But I think 1,000 followers, in one day, PUDM is a big organization, but one day far out from the actual event, I think that's very unlikely. I also think that we receive a significant, a much better return on our investment for an additional $1,000 than we would get if we just stayed at 1,500.
I'm sorry, we've reached our time. The chair will now recognize a motion to extend debate, or we can proceed to a vote.
Senator Harris.
Move to extend debate by 3 minutes.
Second. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. We need a 2/3 vote in order to extend the time by 3 minutes. So all in favor, please raise your name placards. All opposed, same sign. Abstentions? Okay. Were you talking during the middle of that? Senator Hall.
Just, I guess, to get a clear understanding, the main idea of the problem seems to be the Twitter account, and the fact that we have to present $2,500 regardless. If we decide to go for it with the extra $1,000, really should be the main focus. I think if we want 1,000 followers, we can get 1,000 followers. But if we're going to make a decision soon with $2,500 standing, it's possible, of course, to amend the bill to just go for it to be $1,000, $1,500 or $2,500 and donate, instead of us trying to focus on the Twitter.
Senator Harris?
Senator Gallant, you spoke a little bit earlier about tabling this motion, and then you said it wasn't possible. Why would this not be possible to do?
Do you have a question?
As it stands, I believe we need 6 weeks to co-sponsor. Is that true? That's something that's been brought up in the Senate before. Point of clarification of it?
Currently, the application on the website says 1 week before 7 weeks.
Senator Ross?
I move to amend Bill 14-17 to eliminate the Twitter incentive and make the total co-sponsorship $2,500.
Okay. That's amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, same sign. Abstentions? Great. Okay, and just for clarification, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Are you just striking that?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, is there further discussion on the main motion? Senator Fortman? I guess I just wanted to bring up the fact that I kind of want to keep an eye on how much we're spending for sponsorship-wise, because we want to make sure that we have enough for the spring semester. We are going to get a lot of high number for sponsorships like Rock Squad and other events like that in spring. So we should make sure that we're not forcing ourselves to turn into organizations. So I do think that PUDM is a worthy cause, and I would love to give them as much money as we can. I just want to make sure that we're not excluding other organizations that are in need of funds. Senator Gallant.
Are you about that, Randy?
So you guys have spent $2,000 so far, which is like 1,000 per meeting, and you don't have that many more meetings left. But as PUDM is one of the largest organizations on campus, so this will be one of your largest sponsorships compared to other organizations.
Is there any further discussion before we move to this?
All right, all in favor of Bill 4-17, please raise your hand placard. All opposed, same sign. Abstentions. Bill 14-17 is passed. Is there any other new business? Is there, thank you. Okay. Senator Ross.
I move to bring up Bill 14-18.
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 14-18. It is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. Senator Ross.
Okay, so this is a co-sponsorship with the Purdue American Association of University Women. It will bring Sarah Kay to campus to give a spoken word poet performance as well as a workshop afterwards. PSG is supposed to co-sponsor $1,500 as written in this bill. She spoke on TED. She gained 7 million internet viewers. I heard her spoken word poetry. If any of you have either, she'll be touching on women's issues and how we can get involved in the issues.
Senator Young.
So I know that we're trying to make sure we're getting the best bang for our buck here. I would say some things that I don't really understand, and I don't know. I asked you earlier, Emily, and you didn't know. Dana Smith is not here, so I don't know if we'll ever get answers to these tonight. But so we're paying for promotional material, but it's unclear what that means, other than that we'll get our name on it. And we're also paying for access to a workshop, which is a creative writing workshop. And I'm not an English major, and that to me doesn't seem helpful. So I'm just wondering, what are we really getting out of this? I just like to hear this thing.
Was that a direct question or just?
No, it's just
Yeah, Senator Comstock.
I just want to bring up, and hopefully this will not really directly answer you, but some of my concerns about this. While I think this is a great idea for this club to do this, we don't know if we actually are going to be able to target 250 people, and that is the max number we would be targeting for $1,500, plus or minus the 250 that was kind of thrown in when you were speaking. That's a lot of money for not understanding if we're gonna even get 30 people. No offense to the organization, I'm sure it's a great organization. This is their first year on campus, this is their first big event. It's a small organization with a small executive board. So I just feel uncomfortable putting out our money, not understanding what we're gonna get back in return, and not even knowing how many students we'd be able to reach at the event.
Senator Winston?
This isn't a direct question to anyone, but I feel like there's not much information at the moment. So what would be the repercussions of tabling this for next week to when we can, or 2 weeks from now, when we can get all of the information we need?
The way I understand it, I don't want to speak certainly about this. The way I understand it, there shouldn't be any repercussions other than we will not have a contract with Sarah Kay until we have all of the money. So we are trying to raise it as quickly as possible so that we can give her a firm commitment and actually keep her commitment.
Senator Gilmore?
I'd like to move to table this co-sponsorship bill until we get more information.
It has been properly moved and seconded to table Bill 14-18. It requires a 2/3 vote. All in favor, please raise your hand placards. All opposed, same sign. Abstentions. Alright, so Bill 14-18 will be tabled to the next meeting.
The next meeting, because it wasn't specified.
Oh, you're right.
Exactly, and that was my, because you said until we can get further information.
Do I have to re-motion or can we say?
I think that was the issue.
Okay, for next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other new business? Senator Ross?
I move to take up Bill 14-19 with it up on the projector.
Second.
Okay, it has been properly moved and seconded to bring up Bill 14-19. Yeah. It is amendable and debatable and requires a majority vote. Senator Ross.
This would be a $500 co-sponsorship to Boiler Model United Nations. We heard a lot about the long-term interests of this organization, what our money would do for it. We get 2 spots on it, and we can also be involved with the planning of this if we would like to. I think it properly aligns PSG's goals with the student community with co-sponsoring this event. If you have any more questions about this, I encourage you to send a direct question over to a dean.
You know, I really do see the value in this kind of thing, and I think it's a really worthwhile thing that students should be involved in. But I don't understand why exactly it should be so costly, and I don't really see where it's a very solid return on investment for us to $500 into this, into an event that at most will touch 50 students if they happen to fill all of their spots. And 2 of those would be our own students. And really the benefit we're getting back out of this is advertisement to 50 students and 2 spots on this board, which each would cost us $10 if we wanted to do that on our own. I really can't justify spending $500 on that.
Senator Ross.
Okay, so the total budget for this project is $1,000. I think the 500 should be viewed as support of their long-term goals with this. If you do want to participate in this event without the 2 seats, it costs $10. You can still apply for it. So we can give up the 2 seats if we want, and we can also actually sponsor this event by being involved with the planning of this.
Senator Watson.
I just kind of want to echo what Senator Ross said. I think that getting in on the ground floor of an event like this might be beneficial to PSG in the long run. If it does really get off the ground and turn into something bigger, we could start the relationship now.
Senator Gallant.
I appreciate the argument for fiscal responsibility, but I think, like Emily said, supporting this organization in this fledgling state, next year it could be more than 50 students. Next year there could be other schools. You know, we just had Dean Hawkins come in and talk about how we are a conduit for education outside of the classroom, and I think this is a perfect opportunity. You know, even if you are an engineering major, maybe learning how to write wouldn't hurt. Even if you are a tech major, maybe going to Model UN could introduce you to amazing people, amazing opportunities.
Senator Portman, look to you unless I have any moments.
I just want to remind you guys that the Citizen Grant, which is for small but important organizations, it doesn't exist anymore, so you will be getting more grants from organizations that would have been applying to those grants. So just keep that.
Senator Young.
I'd like to ask, actually Bobby, it's a direct question. We've heard a lot about us having the opportunity to get involved in planning this. And I'm curious if it aligns with what Exec wants to get done and what DOD, like what we're going to be there involved. I guess I'm yielding my time to you. And anyone else who wants to answer as well. I think it's really generous.
It's a really neat education opportunity. I think obviously I'm not very familiar with it because I'm from Indiana, so I should understand it doesn't really exist here. But I think it's a neat opportunity for students to learn about what happens outside and become more social activists or more politically involved, which is going to be important moving forward with some of the changes that are happening here in West Lafayette.
Senator Toll.
I come from a high school in an area that Model UN is very, very prevalent. And that, you know, it's a very big club on campus. They go to a lot of different conferences, a very huge one in Philadelphia. And what you take away from Model UN is, yes, you take away communication skills, which no matter what field you're in, will be beneficial. Whether you're in engineering, whether you're in technology. And that's something everyone can learn and benefit from. And I think getting, you know, on the ground floor, we can actually, as PSG, make an impact in that for PSG, we're supposed to help new sort of organizations lead, give them the ability to.
Senator Hall.
Coming from Senator Toll said, it's very easy to invest in big organizations like PDM because they guarantee success. We need to encourage other organizations to come forth to us so that we can also support them. PSG has a strong presence and can continue to build our presence on our campus. but having our support, I think, will make it become a success.
Senator Winston?
Yeah, not only would I recommend that we co-sponsor this, but I would strongly recommend everyone here to go to this because, like, say that we were to be involved with this. I'm not just Renner, I would be Ethiopia if I was directing. Right now, I'm not just Senator Winston, I represent the College of Technology. So I can see a direct correlation with that, and I think it would be kind of foolish to not co-sponsor this and get involved.
Senator Ross?
I yield my time to Executive Director of Programming.
Hi, everyone. Actually, Jordan sent me a lot of information about this because he thought it'd be something that, like, since we do have the opportunity to help plan, that I'd be interested in. And I think it would be very valuable for us to help co-sponsor this event and help with the planning because, and like a few other people have said, like, this would be the first model UN in Indiana, and we would have the honor of helping host it. So I think that's a really big deal, and I think that gives us a lot of potential to do a lot.
Senator Young?
So just to sum up, I think we should definitely vote for this because it's a good organization that could grow into something really big. Gives PSG some exposure, and there'll be more exposure in the future potentially. And it definitely lines up with what exec wants to get done, and it teaches important skills. So I'd say you should all vote for this.
All right, is it?
No.
Senator Ross?
I want to sponsor.
If there's no further discussion, we will move to a vote. So all in favor of Bill 14-1819, please raise your name placards. Okay, we'll do it by roll.
Makes it easier for me. Wildhauer.
Aye.
Harris.
Nay.
Chang.
Oh, abstain.
Sorry. That was a yay vote.
Oh, abstain.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. That's why I asked again. Comstock?
No.
Young? Ross?
Aye.
Rice? Fortman?
Aye.
Lau?
Aye.
Hall?
Aye.
Steph? Winston?
Aye.
Schweitzer?
Aye.
Watson? Moser?
Aye.
Toll?
Aye.
Taylor?
Aye.
Gulan?
Aye.
Press?
Aye.
Yay, 1 in, 1 nay. Passes.
Bill 14-19 passes. Is there any other new business? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to announcements. Does anyone have announcements? If you could just raise your hand or your name placard and do it more organized. Martia. Yeah. Listen to Martia.
Thank you. Sorry, I had to speak to my photographer, so I wasn't able to give a report. Please tell organizations that you're involved in or organizations that represent your college that this room is available and reservable until October 22nd. So that gives us a couple more weeks. So we didn't just sneak in here like before, but we're officially here. But this room is reservable until October 22nd. We'll talk about outside conversation. Dinner, currently scheduling a dinner with the 3 vice presidents for PSG Leadership, and that is this group right here. I am trying to schedule them on the opposite Wednesday. We're just getting into December. So, is there any other day, just throw out the more people that is good for you, and don't say it's Saturday, but any other day? Wednesday? Thursday? Tuesday? Okay, Thursday. Not unless you have dinner somewhere else. But I'll look at some days. I might have to just pull up everyone's schedule. Sorry, I have those stock of privileges. Just like that. But I will try to get a schedule, a catered dinner for this group, so you get to directly talk to 3 high-level administrators and hear your voice. So I'm trying. Please know if you see the invite come through, it's me, no one else. You can't say no. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Senator Young.
Yeah, 2 things real quick, because I know y'all want to get home. Okay, first thing, we're having a meeting tomorrow at 7 to talk about phone chargers. I know I texted Ruby about that. It was originally something that I was just going to do, but a lot of people were really interested, so if you want to help out with that, we'd love to have you. And the other thing is Susan Brooks is going to be here next Wednesday, is that right? Yeah, she's actually my congresswoman, and she's really cool, and I've talked to her a lot. In the past, like going to like events and meeting her. She's really awesome. You guys should definitely go and talk to her. And there's pizza. So why wouldn't you go?
Okay. Are there any other announcements? Do we have a motion to adjourn? Adjourned.